This is A-Game, fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. And what we're talking about today is Black women loving their emotional baggage. And I'm saying that they love their emotional baggage because they don't do anything about it. Don't do anything to deal with the underlying issues that are at the root of certain dysfunctional behaviors. They just continue to do the dysfunctional behaviors and make excuses for them and make reasons, well, not even reasons, it's excuses for the behavior, try to throw off accountability and responsibility to others, to the environment, to other people, to men, to whomever, instead of sitting down and taking a look at why do I do the things that I do, or why do we as Black women collectively do the things that we do? So I'm gonna show two videos, and both of these are about baby mamas, but I'm not really gonna talk about the single motherhood aspect of it. You're gonna have to stay tuned for my perspective. So I'm gonna show them back to back, and then I'll be back with my perspective.
And 3 baby days, and they all getting back. Well, I can't find love. I can't be loved because I got 3 kids and 3 baby days, and they all getting back. Well, I can't find love. Why I can't have a man that loves me? Is something wrong with that? I can't be loved.
And then the next one that I'm gonna show you right here.
A lot of people got something to say about the fact that I have 6 kids with 6 different men. So I'm just going to tell y'all why it is better to do it this way. If I had 6 kids with all the same dude, I get 34% of his income, which is only $680 a month. If I got 6 kids with 6 different dudes, I get 17% from each one of them, which is $340 a month from each one. $340 a month times 6 baby daddies is $2,040. So why don't you have 6 baby daddies?
So hopefully you guys were able to hear that. And the dysfunction that's in both of those ladies. I'm not really even going to harp on the single motherhood, just the single motherhood aspect, or even the fact that she calculated why she has 6 baby daddies in monetary terms. And it had nothing to do with children. It had nothing to do with emotion. It had nothing to do with relationships. Or any of that, which she basically exposed the lie that they are making children inside of relationships and that men are simply leaving their responsibilities to these women and to the children that they create. But I'm not even going to go there. What I'm going to talk about is how that happens. How things like single motherhood in the way that the Black community does it, how that happens, why it's so rampant. If it was just a few, if it was just a small percentage, we wouldn't really have that big of an issue with it. But because it happens at such an alarming rate, such a high rate, we have to talk about what are the underlying dysfunctions that go along with that, the underlying emotional baggage. Because you, as a woman, when you are having multiple children by multiple men, aside from the fact that you count money or using your womb as a hustle, there is a void that you got to be trying to fill, because no normal woman in her right mind that has her head on straight, that has good spiritual value, that has good health value, that has good any of them 10 life values would ever subject herself to 6 different men and birth 6 children, 1 for each man. No woman that's thinking straight at all would ever do that. So I'm trying to figure out, what void are you trying to fill with multiple children that you don't really care about, and most likely making the lives of those men unbearable? Study dragging them in and out of court. The chaos involved with that, the arguing, the discontent, the pettiness. You can't see your kids this weekend. I want my money. All of that, to live in such a condition, to live in that emotional condition, but never seek to change it, or never seek to truly investigate, why am I living like this? Why am I living like this? To never wake up in the midst of that one morning and say, I cannot and I refuse to go another day in this sort of chaos and in this sort of devilry and demon time. I'm not gonna do it. I cannot live my life this way. What's the rest of my life if every day is this? What do I have to look forward to? I don't have any goals. I don't have any dreams. I don't have anything that I'm looking forward to, working towards the betterment of myself, the betterment of children that I chose to birth into this world, regardless of the circumstances that I helped create. And it's easy to throw it off and say, well, these men laid down with me, so they must have been, on a certain demon time too. And to a certain extent, that might be so. But we're not talking about the other people involved. We're talking about the women involved. The level of emotional baggage that go unaddressed is astounding to me. But they don't see no need to do nothing about it. This same lady will have a 7th and an 8th child, a human being that didn't ask for you. They didn't ask for the conditions that you brought them into the world with. They didn't ask for that. None of it. You chose. And the main thing that you chose was to not deal with whatever's going on with you that would lead you down a path to think that this form of dysfunction is okay, and to be able to rationalize and justify why you're doing it so that you don't have to change doing it. Wanting other people, mainly men, to be responsible for making their lives better and making them feel better. See, the emotional baggage part really comes into play when we talk about the level of insecurity and these women wanting these men to make them feel secure, to give them the attention and give them love and give them all of these accolades and give them these things undeserved. And the main reason why it's undeserved is because these women do not give these things to themselves. They don't give themselves love. They don't give themselves positive attention. They don't give themselves care. They don't care about themselves. This is why they don't care about nobody else. Because you can't care about other people if you don't care about you. These women want men to shower them with love because they don't love themselves. They want the men to give them the love they don't give themselves. Even here on this platform, they ask, well, what, talk about the good that Black women do. Are there good Black women? Of course there are. You're looking at one. You're looking at one. And I know plenty of them. But unfortunately, we're not the majority. The majority is dysfunctional. So we got to talk about what the majority of Black women are engaged in, not the minority of us, so that those who are engaged in this level of dysfunction get to hide under the banner of what the good Black women are doing. The work that we did, we're good. Good Black women are good because we did the work. That's why. We worked to do that. That wasn't just some thing we was born and then the light shone on us and then we didn't have to do nothing. We was born in the same conditions and in the same environment that everybody else was born in here. No different. We saw a lot of the same dysfunction. We was exposed to a lot of the same foolishness that every other Black woman who was born in this country, born in this culture, was exposed to. The only difference between us and them is that we looked at it and said, you know what? I'm just not going to live my life like that. If you had a hyena mother and you not a hyena, at some point in time in your life, even if you was a young teenage girl, you was like, I can't live like that. My mama don't live good. She doesn't live good. She's in a lot of turmoil. She's in a lot of little stuff. It just don't seem peaceful. Like her life just don't seem peaceful. It just seems like it's always something going on. And the goings-ons is not good. It's bad. It's always negative. She's always crying or she's always upset or something's always happening in her life. And it's never, I ain't never really seen her just chill and just be happy and just have this positive attitude. I ain't never seen that. So why? And even as a teenager, you may not understand all the nuances, but you understand that you don't want to live in that form of chaos, even if you don't have the terminology to say that's what this is. I know that's what my issue was. It was too much chaos. And I knew as a grown woman, whenever I had my household, it wasn't going to be like that because it was just too stressful. Every other minute, if it wasn't one thing, it was another. I'm not living like that. You're poor, you're stressed, you're unhappy, you bitter, you argumentative, you fight all the time, you stressed out. Like, no. And these women, the majority of Black women are in this situation, and that it is emotional baggage that they do not deal with ever. And if they try to deal with it, it's nothing more than coping mechanisms, which are also dysfunctional, which promote the foolishness. Like this single mama, 6, 4, 5, 6 baby daddies, that is a coping mechanism that is highly dysfunctional and destructive because it's not only dysfunctional for her, she's inviting other human beings into her mess that she's not fixing. She's inviting other men into it. She's inviting innocent children into it that are not making these choices. She's making choices for them. And then want to holler about she's doing the best she can by her children. No, you're not. Because you're not doing the best you can by the children because you had them under the conditions that you had them. That's why you did wrong by your kids at conception. The fact that you did not address your emotional baggage prior to getting pregnant and having children was a disservice to the children. And it was a disservice to you. Because you don't bother to do anything about this. You want to be loved by people, but you got to love you first. Nobody going to love you without you loving you. And loving you means actually addressing your issues. The issues you grew up, if somebody touched you growing up, you need to face that. You need to deal with that. You need to go to therapy and get that dealt with. You need to go to the Most High, and then you need to go to a therapist to get that dealt with. If you're physically unhealthy, you need to go to the gym. You need to contact a nutritionist. You need to figure out a program that's going to help you lose your weight or get your health together. Like, you got to be able to understand why you're doing what you're doing. It's not good enough to just do it and then just throw your hands in the air like, well, it's done now. And that's other people's problem and other people's fault. That you're embroiled in your own mess that you invite other people into. Nobody love you. Can't nobody love you more than you. I'm sitting here today because I love you. But now you got to take up the mantle. It's not bashing. This is me telling you the truth because nobody else will. You won't even do it. You won't even love yourself enough to tell yourself the truth. I got to do it. And which I don't mind doing it. I do love you enough to tell you the truth. But I'm trying to get you to love you enough to accept the truth and tell yourself the truth and tell your sisters the truth. So sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host of Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.